to this computer so I can find it easily. Last time I did it to the cloud and flipping couldn't find it. All right, guys. So anything anyone wants to specifically go over today before we do anything? Everyone happy? Other than Andrew wanting to know how to fix his combine harvester, is there anything that I can actually help with?
No, but I just want to interject and just say what a great job you've been doing dividing up the beginner and the advanced sessions and the way you handle people on each call there. I think they've been going great.
Oh, good, good, good. Yeah, I mean, it's all, like I said to you guys, it's all new to me. I've really only been an educator since January, and, I haven't been an educator before. So I'm kind of making up the rules as I go. Um, and one of the things as the group gets bigger and bigger and bigger, obviously we have new people starting and joining, every day, we broke 2000 in the chat, I think, at the beginning of the week, and we're already, heading for 2200. So it does go crazy. I do a lot of, well, I don't do a lot, but I do calls for other teams. I usually get them. Somebody approached me, Jay, and I said, well, I'll jump on your call, but you've got to have at least 50 people on the call. And, he had over 100. So, and of course, a lot of those people join and everything. So it's getting pretty busy all the way around. And I'm just trying to get that uh, comfortable. I don't think it'll ever be 100% good for everybody, but obviously we want to encourage the new guys and get them up to speed as soon as we can, but without slowing down, the more advanced people. We're only up to, right now we're really only up to 6 entry and 6 exit rules, and there's 18 of them. What I was going to do on tomorrow on the advance. I don't know whether you want me to do this or not. I haven't announced it yet. But I was going to do just show you how the orb sat strategy works. Are you familiar with that? I know Jim is. Do you use that at all, Jim?
No, no. Open range breakout?
Yeah.
No, I don't use it.
Okay. So I was going to do it. You do it on the right after market open, basically, and then look for the breakout from the top of that range to the bottom. So we'll actually set it up on the on hammer time in the morning. And does everyone like that name, by the way? I know it's a bit corny, but it just came to me, and because it's like fast paced and a bit of fun and everything, it kind of stuck. So rather than
It
That's fine,
works.
yeah.
No use changing the name. It's fun.
That's
okay.
fine, yeah.
All right. So anyway, at the end of that, we'll set up the orb, the open range breakout, and then when we get on our advanced session, we'll actually then go into what it means and what we look at. It's nothing to do with Sniper Pro. It's just a trading thing. I mean, a lot of stuff that we do on Sniper Pro, the stuff that I package in Sniper Pro, a lot of it is just, general trading things, EMAs. Everyone uses EMAs, session highs, session lows. Everyone uses those. A lot of people use, smart money concepts, pointer controls, all kind. There's loads and loads of stuff on there. But what happens with Sniper Pro is most of that stuff is actually built into Sniper Pro, and you'll actually see the ORB is actually built in. It's not apparent, but it's built into the signals that come out of it when it breaks out of those range. But the ORB just as a strategy, you can just use it on TradingView or whatever on market open. So okay, I'll do that on tomorrow and do that. Yeah, it's just a constant battle trying to keep the newbies interested and not only interested but getting them on track. You still got a lot of people they want copy trades, they want signals, they want when you're going to call out a trade, stuff like that. And so just managing that at the same time. So right now I think it works. Tuesday beginners and Thursday more advanced. Um, But as we move forward, obviously any comments that you've got are always greatly welcome there. And anytime any of you guys pop in the chats and answer people for me, that's much appreciated because I don't always see the chats. Very often they go so fast. Um, yeah, especially during hammer time, because everything's moving so fast. I've got three charts up. I'm looking at three charts at the same time, and doesn't give me much time to look at the chats. And the other thing is, a lot of the beginner chats, this kind of standard answer, go and look at the pinned messages at the top, covers like 99% of the questions anyway. So that works. Anyone else have anything specific? Thanks for that, by the way, Brian. Appreciate that. Keep me posted on that. We're still on the. I got another educator call tomorrow, obviously on at 11. So I will have an update of the launch of version 3 on um, meant to be on September the 8th. But I haven't even had my conversation about how Sniper Pro is going to look on September the 8th. And we're already, on Wednesday, and it's meant to launch on Monday. So, and I got to think I'm probably not the only educator they haven't spoken to yet either. So I did speak to them on, Jim knows, anyone is in business knows this more. But I did speak to, Daniel and Nick and say, look, I know you've got, tech guys building this stuff out, version 3. I said, but, who else is part of the team? Because, which educators are on the team? Do you have a UI person? Do you have a graphic designer? Because you and I know if you get tech people building something, half of them, you see how they dressed. Half of them know not. Hey, Shaney, half of them know nothing about design. You know what I mean? And so I was saying, where's the UI? UI is user interface. I don't want to go into a website, not talking about Jifa or anything like that. I'm talking about any website. I don't want to go into a website and have to press 4 buttons to get where I want to go. I want to press one, maybe two. That's, user experience. The website, there's three parts to the tech side, really, is your back office, Jifu site itself, Jifu Live, and Jifu Connect. Well, Jifu Connect, the app, has got a calendar on it for all our meetings, and my calendar has been wrong for 5 months. And for 5 months, I've been asking it to fix it. 5 months hasn't been done. It's not a big deal, but my suggestion is that if you can't get the calendar right, just take it out until you can get it right. Because every month I have to go in and manually, one by one, each meeting go in, edit it, edit the time, edit the date. I'm not sure where that feed is coming from because it's not coming from Gfu Live because Gfu Live, the dates are fine. So just little things like that is that, when you've only got tech guys building out the tech, they kind of forget that the user experience is what it's gonna live by or fail by. And if that's the case, who are the people giving feedback on user experience? So, and now we're, 4 days away from launch. I'm still not sure who's in charge of that. So that's by the by. We're hoping it's going to work on September the 8th. We hope the notifications are going to work. That's the most important thing. I need my PSARs change color because they won't show up against the light background. We haven't done that yet and stuff like that. So we're still not quite there yet. If they come along and say we've got a delay, we're not launching at September 8th, don't tell anyone you heard that here first, but it wouldn't surprise me. So when we did a test run on Sunday, We had issues, and that's a week away, week before it's meant to be launched. The recording came out. It wasn't big enough. It was blurry, um, and it doubled up. So we got two recordings of the same session. Just stuff like that. And as you get kind of closer to launch, you would think that a lot of that stuff would already be in the bag, but it's not. Anyway, any other questions about version 3 when we're going? Before you jumped on, Cheney, I was thanking everyone for jumping in the chat and helping me deal with all the people in there. So I wanted to make sure you were included in that because you've been vitally important in that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh,
Yeah, and most of those stuff, like I said, most of those stuff, if you just point them to the Telegram chat and the pinned messages, I want to try and get people not just answering the questions when people ask, but point them to where the answers are, so that the more it's not just that person we're answering everyone who sees that question. So if one person answers it, but 50 people see it, when we say check the pinned messages, then 50 people will know, go and check the messages. All right. So I got a little something if you want to see it. You want to see something?
You're gonna tell
yes,
us how far
please.
gold is gonna go?
What'd you say?
I said you're gonna tell us how far gold is gonna go, when gold's finally gonna stop?
I already put that in my chat. So
3,700.
yeah, I got no, it's higher. The next. Let me just go in the other chat and tell you what I put in there. Yeah, I've got obviously we go. Don't forget when I give these things out, if I say it's gonna, we're looking at 3,600, we're looking at 3633 and everything. Don't forget, it's not gonna go like that, guys. So, it's going to go like that. If I say the next step is 3,600, you know what's going to happen. It's going to go up to 3,600. Not only is it a big round number, but it's a banking level. It's going to come off that. It might test it again. It's going to come off that. So, you got to remember when I do this, it means if we break 3,600, eventually the next target is 3633. Could go like that. If it breaks that, then the next, obviously, the mid targets, 3,600, 3,650, 3,700, 3,750. Obviously, that's a given. But we got 3,600, 3633, 3729, 3826, 3886. What do you think about that, Jim?
That's awesome. I just keep hitting buy and everything's a win.
The key is, guys, is trade what you see. And that's what I put. I say watch for pullbacks and trade what you see. Because that's the key, is trading what you see. Don't have a bias. I think that's where it's going to go. And obviously, the big one is going to be 4,000. Are we going to break 4,000? Are we going to break it this year? Are we going to break it next year? Are we ever going to break it? You know, but we have to trade what we see. Watch what your signals are. Watch Sniper Pro. Watch the 4 hour. Watch the daily. Watch the 1 hour. Look at where those support and resistance lines are, and look at where the trend is, and look what's happening. Today, before the 7 o'clock news, it wasn't just red folder news, the JOLTS job opening. Those numbers are going to have an effect on interest rate decisions, because interest rate decisions very strongly look at the job market and they look at inflation. And so any red folder news that's got to do with jobs or inflation, and most of this red folder news is going to be something to do with that, and obviously, or economic news, that could have a longer term effect on what the Fed does this month with interest rates. So what you saw after the JOLTS job opening, people start thinking, hold on, what are the Fed's going to do with this information? And so what to do? Everyone started piling into gold. That's what made it move. But if you look at gold, on the, let's share my screen a little bit here, guys. If you look at gold, let's drop down. That's the 4 hour. It's giving me all my Fibonacci numbers to give you the where we're headed. But that was the 15-minute there. Those two, let's take that one off. Those two dotted lines, that was 6:30 and that was 6:45. I don't know why it jumped sometimes. That was 7 o'clock. So the 7 o'clock was jolt. And we jumped from 3,550 to 3,5, we're nearly at 80 now since 7 o'clock. So, when we start, we're right in the banking level now. We break out of this. Obviously, there's nothing really in the way until we hit 3,600. That's a big gap. We got to see what happens there. But then after that, that's when we get into all the other little, what is that one there? Oh, that's my Fibonacci retracement tool. Let's get rid of that. So, you can see that nice steady, that's on the 15-minute, nice steady. If you look to the 5-minute, don't forget, the lower we go, the more ups and downs you're going to get. So, on the 5-minute, we got that run up and then we got a pullback. We got a run up, a small pullback, and then after that, it was pretty much a run up. After about 8:30, 8:40, we were pretty much running up. So you go down to, the 3-minute starts getting choppier still, the 1-minute choppier still. So don't forget, all of this, depending what time frame you're trading on, on these, if you're trading on the lower time frames, you're in here, then you're out, then you're in here. This is just by way of example. I'm not analyzing this at all, but your trading is going to look more like this. Okay, roughly. All right. Why? Because you really don't want to go against the trend here if you can help it. Yeah, we got PSAR flips. Yeah, we got some red down here. But look, the snake hasn't left buy territory this whole time. It's been above the 50% all the way along. Remember, when the snake is in the top half, we're much more likely to be in buy territory. You haven't dropped below. It's touched it here, didn't really touch it anywhere else. So, we are, yes, you're overbought here. We got a little pullback. We got divergence here, got a little pullback, didn't last long. So, trade, that just means trade what you see. So if you're in the 1-minute, you're probably in 4 trades. If you're in the 15-minute, well, you probably could have still done 4 trades there actually on the 15-minute. But you could have also just done one whole big long trade there. Because, look, blue all the way down here. Snake is blue right up here. There's no reason to get out. None of the PSARs ever flipped. Fast EMA stayed blue. This is our trend line right here. Can you see my screen, everyone?
Yes, thanks.
Yeah. So, that's the fast moving trend line there. It's well out of the way. It's been blue all the way back here. Again, the snake has been in the top half all the way back since here. Really hardly dipped below at all anywhere. That was our news, jolts, and off we go, tally ho. You go up to 30-minute, it starts evening out even a little bit more. Again, if you want to take those 4 trades instead of 1, you can do, but all this Swing traders and position traders, they're probably just staying in all the way up. Look how far away the PSARs are. Look how high the snake is now on the 30-minute. Look at all the blue trend direction. So when I say trade what you see, that's what, it's just our rules, guys. Nothing special. You could literally, if you don't want to go any further than your 6 rules, you got all the ammunition you need to make Pipalicious days come true every single day. Everything after 6 rules is just fine tuning. You look at the trading plan, the 18 rules in the trading plan, a lot of that is fine tuning. Yeah, will it get you extra pips? Sure, it will. I think the first one that we did, what was it? Was it US 30? I think on the basic entries, we got 800 something. On advanced entries, we got like 2100 pips. It's a big difference. Doesn't mean you can't be happy with the 800 pips. So, yeah, so gold. Yeah, gold's gonna fly, guys, but just trade what you see and watch those, write those down in the Sniper Pro Telegram chat. If you want to get the numbers, I wrote them in there. Put them on a little post-it note, stick them next to your computer. As you're approaching those numbers, remember, expect to pull back off those numbers before it breaks through. But trade what you see. Okay, let us go here. You can take screenshots of this, guys, because I'll go through them quickly. These are just some notes I came across, and I thought that they would be nice. I've adapted a couple of them. But some of these are just nice to remind yourself. Often on the live sessions, guys, I don't have time to, slow down enough to go over some of the important stuff. But hammer time is crazy. That's just nuts. We're not going to go into anything really deeply on hammer time. But, on the beginner session, the mindset session, and the advanced session, we have more time. But on this session, I just wanted to remind you of these. You can take a screenshot. I'll run through them really quickly. If you have any questions, ask me afterwards. So they're all numbered. Number 1, never go into a trading day blind. What does that mean? Spend some time. Maybe it's not 15, 20 minutes. The more experience you go, the quicker you can do it. But analyze the markets before you take your first trade. What does that mean? Look at your economic calendar. Go to the higher time frames. Look at the session highs, Asian session and London session. Jim loves trading, knowing what the highs and lows of Asian and London session is. That's a key part of his trading. Okay? So when you do that before you trade. If you want to know what your lot size is, do it at the beginning of every day or the beginning of every week. Look, guys, if you're trading NAS or US 30 and you've got a $25,000 account and you want to risk 1%, ask ChatGPT. You just go in there and say, hey, my account, I'm a day trader. My account is $25,000. I'm going to be trading US 30. The price of US 30 right now is 40,000. I want to risk 1% of my account, and my stop loss is gonna be 40 pips. Whatever that answer comes back, it's not going to be far off what you need to know for the whole week. US 30 is going to move, sure, it's not going to move that much. You don't have to be that crazy about your lot size. If you want to do it every day, that's fine. You don't need to do it more than every day. And then that week, what do? US 30, you've written it down, put it on a post-it note, put it on your laptop. Okay, my lot size for US 30 is, 1.35. If you Jim, it's, 33.2, whatever. But he's not even smiling. Oh, there he is. He smiled. I saw it. Okay. I'm just checking he's listening, really. But you know, so you don't need to do that all the time. It's easy to do. ChatGPT is just the best thing right now for that kind of thing. You just have to give them all the information. Number two, emotional resilience is stronger than strategy. We all know what that means. It's all fear. It's all fear of failure, fear of missing out. Your emotional resilience, you know, the morning trades, guys, again, remember, don't trade like I'm trading on hammer time. I don't trade market open. This is because I've been asked to do market open, New York open, so that's how I'm doing it. I'm doing it because people want to trade open. They want to know where buy stops and sell stops are, so I'm happy to do it. I don't trade like that. I don't put buy stops and sell stops in. I've been hurt too much by slippage. I used to do it until it moved so fast it jumped over my stop loss, and all of a sudden, instead of having a decent stop loss, my drawdown was so massive. I've actually blown accounts on slippage. I don't want to do that. So, you know, it's fun, it's nice. You can see what Sniper Pro is doing. I'm amazed actually with Sniper Pro how many times it will call out direction and scorecards before the open, and then after the open, it will actually get where it's meant to go. That's surprising to me. I'm not going to risk it with my money, but it's still surprising to me that it will do that. I think it happened on all three assets we were looking at today, gold, NAS, and US 30, is the scorecard that showed up before open actually hit TP1 on all three assets. So that was good. Number three is very important. You'll be tempted to cut your winners short out of fear and hold your losers too long because you hope it'll reverse. Trade what you see, guys. If the trade goes against you, get out. You should never, ever, ever hit your stop loss. Your stop loss is for emergencies. Your stop loss is if something happens. Trump tweets something and you didn't hear about it. Something massive happens. A war starts. Something happens that you can't account for a massive move. That's what the stop loss is for. If you set a stop loss, never move it. If it hits your stop loss, that's okay, fine. But before it hits your stop loss, if you apply the rules of Sniper Pro, you should, on most occasions, be able to get out before it hits your stop loss based on your exit rules. And your exit rules, one of them is not, I know it's going where I want it to go, and I'm sure it's going to reverse any minute. That is not in the rules. Okay, so what you do is you trade what you see, you get out. If it does reverse and go in your direction, what do? Get back in. But if it carries on going against you and you're still in because you hope it reverse, hope it reverse, all you're doing is losing money, losing money, losing money. You know, we only want to take small losses. It's better to get out when your exit rules have hit, a couple of them at least. And if you're wrong, you get back in. It's no big deal. If you're trading on the lower time frames, guys, you're only talking about what, 1, 3, 5, 15 minutes. It's not, you know, if it starts going back in your direction, just get back. Okay, you took a loss. Okay, so what? Losses are inevitable. Okay, number four. And I might not go these number. I'll just because I'm covering a lot of them as we go. You know, emotional weaknesses. We just cover that. Know which ones you have so you can overcome them for sure. Take the same amount of time you spend trading as you do analyzing your trade. So if you're trading for 30 minutes, you want to analyze for 30 minutes. That's okay when you start. As you get better and better, you won't need to take 30 minutes. But you do need to take, you know, if you're trading for 30 minutes, you might analyze for 10 minutes. Okay? If you broke your rules, but this is an important one. If you broke your rules but still want to trade, you lost that trade. Just trust the process, guys. The process is what's going to make you money in the long term. If you broke your rule and you won the trade, you still broke your rule. Winning the trade, yeah, sounds good, feels good, got money in the bank, great. It's not going to help you in the long term. The more you break your strategy's rules, the more behavior gets internalized. So the more you do it, the more comfortable you will get breaking your rules. Because, hey, last time you broke the rules and it worked out, you took some pips. So don't do it. Okay? If your trading system isn't profitable, you'll never be profitable. Get good at one strategy. I've said this many times. Jim has tried a ton of strategies. I've tried a ton of strategies, both old and new. We all started trading DeLorean. We've tried Dynamic Edge. We've tried Kill Shot. We've tried all these different strategies, guys. Sniper Pro's as good as it gets. You can add your own little tweaks to it. You want to add Asian session highs and lows, London session highs and lows, fine. But most people who've tried all the other systems who are unbiased like Sniper Pro, and there's a reason for that. So get good at that strategy and fine tune it. And if you don't see a setup, number 10, don't take the trade, guys. Not taking a bad trade is as important and sometimes as more difficult as taking a winning trade. Just stick by the rules. Friday's the most volatile trading day. It's a short day. Some people don't trade Fridays. Some people don't trade Mondays. A lot of professional traders only trade Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So if you feel like Mondays are not right for you or Fridays are not right for you, it's okay not to trade them. That should be in your trading plan, though. 13, we know about. 14, if you're trading on a funded account, always start with a 50K account if you can. Minimum 25K account. Why is that? Because the amount of money is relatively unimportant. Again, if you're going to put $500 in a live account or you're going to put $500 in a funded trader account, $500 is going to get you 50 to 100K in a funded trader account. Yes, you've got rules in it. I use Funded Trading Plus out of London. They have rules and drawdown rules. But if you don't play to good rules like that, you're not trading properly. If you're losing more than $1,000 a day, you're not trading properly. If you get a drawdown of more than 6%, you're not trading properly. So the funded trading account, for me, does two things. A, it helps you get more disciplined, and B, you can actually get a decent size account for relatively little money. If you do have to go down to a $10,000, $12,000 account, it's going to cost you what, $100, $120? I'd much rather blow a $120 account than a $500 of my own money account. Right? It just makes sense. So I'm a big proponent of it. Listen, if your team leader doesn't like funded trade accounts, then listen to them. That's just my opinion. If you're in Jim's team, he doesn't want you to do funded trade accounts, don't do funded trading accounts. Follow what Jim tells you to do. Makes no difference to me. It's just my opinion. But then what you do when you have a funded trader account, when you pass that challenge and you start making money, then you've got to manage that. You want to take some money out and start funding your live account. So you have your own account going. You want to take some money out to maybe splash a bit on yourself if you can, so that you can reward yourself, even if it's a little cupcake or an ice cream or something like that, just to reward yourself that you withdrew some money. And you should withdraw money, guys, when you make the money. And thirdly, then you should have other plans for it. You're going to pay down credit card debt. Are you going to put it in your savings account? You're going to buy crypto with it? What are you going to do? So don't leave money in a funded trader account unless you're trying to scale up, which is number 18, number 19. Okay. A lot of people will allow you to link multiple funded accounts. So if you do decide you want more than one account, you can link them. So when you take a trade on one, it will enter on all of them. So check with whatever funded account you're on. Obviously, we're using TradingView, the free one. You will have ads on it, and you can't do a lot of things on the free one. If you want to spend some money on it, like we do, that's how you can split screens and do a bunch of other stuff. But it's good value. I put some names on there. I'm not recommending anybody, guys. I'm not allowed to. There's some names on there under 17. Make sure you get at least weekly payouts. Some of them will pay out daily so that, when you start racking up some wins, you can withdraw it pretty easily. And don't forget, there's on a funded trader account, when you pass it, you've got to, you leave some money in the account for them. So your split might be 80-20 or 90-10. So if you made $1,000, you can't withdraw $1,000. You might only be able to withdraw 800 because 800 goes back to 200 goes back to them. So remember that. Make sure you can scale your account if that's what you want to do. Some of these accounts you can start with, $25,000 account. When you pass that and add another 10%, you can scale it up to 50. You pass that, scale it up another 10%, you can get it to 100, then 200, then 400, etc. I think all the way up to like 1 million, 2 million. Some of them go as high as $4 million. So if that's your strategy, you can scale that out. Don't trade choppy markets if you can. A lot of times it does get very choppy. That's why I don't trade market open. Too choppy for me usually. But you can go into range and consolidation and have it choppy as well. Never trade when you're distracted. That has bitten me in the backside so many times, guys. Get in a trade and the dog's barking, someone's talking to me, the doorbell rings, something happens, and before you know it, you've lost the money. If you ever step away from your computer, even to go for a pee, even to put your cup of tea on, even to go and boil your quinoa or whatever you're eating next, or put a tomahawk steak on the outside grill, make sure you put, I saw you, Jim, I saw you. Make sure you put your stop loss and TP in. Never leave your computer without stop loss and TP. When you can come back, you can take it off again. And never ever leave your computer without stop loss and TP on it. Okay? Risk reward is more important than win rate. You all know why that is. If you manage a good risk reward, we like 1 to 2 as a minimum. You've seen on some of that stuff, that last one. What was that last one that we did? Was it 1 to 17 or something? Can't remember. On the NAS 100 last week. Don't have my notes in front of me. It was like the risk reward was 1 to 17. That's insane. Flipping insane. Okay. 23, stick to one strategy, went over that. 24, trend is your friend, you know that. 25, always set up stop loss, we did that. Calculator, we did that. Risk management, did that. 28, always take your trades as close as possible to a level. What does that mean, guys? Always watch where your trade is approaching, and not always on the time frame you're looking at. Look at higher time frames. Look where the golden EMA is on higher time frames. Look where your banking levels are. Look where previous structure is. Look where previous session highs are. Because as you're approaching them, what you want to do, or what you can do, is you can start getting your stop loss really, really tight. So if you know you're approaching a pivot level, you're approaching TP2, you're approaching an all-time high, you're approaching the Bollinger Band reversal levels, you're approaching a golden EMA. Any of those, you've got to be aware when you get close to a level, the likelihood is you're going to stop there and we have to wait and see where the next direction is. But if it bounces off there, if that is a resistance level and it bounces off, you want to take as many pips as you can. Again, you can get right back in again. So let's say you're in a cell going down, you hit the golden EMA, that's your magnet. You want to have finger on button or your stop loss really close. If it bounces off that golden EMA and you want to get out, get out. It might then bounce along that golden EMA for 1, 5, 10, 15 candles before it decides which direction it's going. If it decides it's not going to break through and reverses, okay, then you can look for your next setup. If it does break through and carries on the trend that you were in already, what do? You re-enter. Trade what you see. As long as the other signals are there for a re-entry, you can re-enter. So make sure you take your pips when you can. There's nothing worse than seeing a nice big long run up and then hit a level and you didn't get out and all of a sudden you get a massive reversal candle. Luckily, you're going to get some signals from Sniper Pro. What do you get? Divergence is a big one. Now, for me, nearly every time I see divergence, I just get out. If it doesn't hold or it's a little tiny divergence, I'll get back in again. Doesn't matter. Worst case scenario, I'm usually back at the same level I just got out on, so I haven't lost anything. And if you lost a couple of pips, who cares? At least it's safe here. It's being safe. Remember what I say every day. Trade what you see and trade safe. Trade safe means keeping your pips. Okay, the best instrument to trade depends on which session you're trading in. Everyone always asks me, what shall I trade? What Forex pairs? What these? I always answer, well, I don't know. What session are you trading? A lot of it depends on there. If you're trading, London pair, GPP or Euro or francs or Deutschmarks or whatever, then your London session, your European stuff is going to be more important to you. Okay, always set a maximum daily risk. If you hit that amount, stop trading for the day. You can also do number 32. If you have set, should be in your trading plan, how many losses you're going to take that day. Usually the number I have is 3. If you take 3 losses, then you can get out. If you take 3 losses in a row, you definitely want to get out. No question about it. 3 losses in a row, boom, out. But your trading plan might say 3 losses in the whole day and you're out. Okay, you don't know what's going on in your own head half the time. You might be thinking about, bills to pay or somebody's sick or a long drive back to Palm Springs or, how many times do I have to stop to fill the truck up before I get back to grandma, There's lots of things can go on your mind that can distract you while you're trading. All right. Aim for taking 2 or 4 trades a day. That depends a lot on whether you're scalping or not. You can take more than that, obviously. But 2 to 4 trades a day, if you're only taking premium, high probability trades, 2 to 4 trades a day is a great number to aim at. Should be in your trading plan. Number 34, you know that. Good entry, trade selection. Number 5. Do not re-enter trade setup more than 2 times if it doesn't go in your favor. Again, you're doing trade what you see there, guys. If you re-enter a trade, you've got to make sure that where your re-entry is makes sense as per Sniper Pro and as per your strategy. Don't just get in because you've got a bias. You think it's going up. You think it's going short. Okay? And when in doubt, zoom out. Go up to a higher time frame. Jim's an expert at this. Go and look at where the levels are on the 30-minute, the 1 hour, the 4 hour. Because you could be hitting levels that you don't even notice on the 5, 15 and 30-minute when you zoom out on the 1 hour, 4 hour, even the daily, oh my goodness, you see there's a level right there. Happens all the time. Okay, this is the last slide, guys. You getting value from this? Is this all right, guys? Is this okay? Okay. So trim your trades after you hit 1 to 2 risk reward. We already kind of covered that. Once you know 1 to 2 risk reward, that's just like looking at any level, guys. You get to a level. Everything on the chart is a level. When I say a level, everything that isn't clear air is a level. PSARs are level, EMAs are levels, Bollinger Bands are levels, banking levels are levels, big round numbers are levels, pivot points are levels. Everything that your candle can hit, you got to consider it a level. And is it going to stop there? Is it going to hesitate there? Is it going to break through there? Okay? When it gets to those levels, tighten up. You either have finger on button or you tighten up your stop loss or both. Okay? Number 38, calculate, mate, you know that. 39, setting how much you're willing to lose per day is more important than setting how much you want to make in the day. That's very important, guys. Always concentrate on what you're willing to lose, not what you want to make, because that's going to keep you safe. Now, obviously, a target, if your target is 50 pips a day, if your target is to make 0.5%, 1%, 2% a day, that's great. But you will benefit more by making sure how much you're willing to lose doesn't get hit. Journal every day. You know we like journaling. They're very simple. People make it complicated. What you saw, when you get in, when you got out, did it follow the rules? If it didn't, what rules did you break? You can make it as complicated or as simple as you want, but the key is you must journal. Okay? Trimming is powerful. Trimming is the same as 37. It's basically once you start hitting those levels, you start trimming your sales, trimming your session. You can take partials, you can get out and wait for it to retest somewhere and get back in again. But trimming is very, very powerful. Consistency is key. Number 42, show up daily. Don't trade once a week, guys. It really will not help you. I was on a call yesterday with this group. It was over 100 on the Zoom. And I showed them the calculatorsite.com. And I showed the difference between whether you trade 1 day a week, 3 days a week, or 5 days a week with $500 in the account. And the results are so ridiculously ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. Try it yourself. It's called the calculatorsite.com. Make sure the tab that you click is the daily compound tab. Everything else you just fill in as you want to. Put in the amount you want to risk in your currency. Put your risk tolerance in there, usually 1 to 2%, no more than that. And then just start clicking buttons once you're in there. And you'll be amazed the difference. Yeah, 43. There's a big one. You can never master the market, but you can master yourself. You know, trading, guys, is mastering yourself in terms of your personality, your shortcomings, your weaknesses, etc. If you get better working on yourself, you will get better at trading. Discipline, patience, consistency, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Number 44, you know that. Even if you take a trade that fits your rules perfectly, there's a possibility you'll lose it. You know what? It just happens. Move on. We trade probabilities. What's a probability? Means it's likely to happen. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's likely to happen. Okay, so don't be worried when you take losses, because I guarantee you will. Don't risk your own money if you can use funded trader accounts, but again, check with your upline to see whether they want you to do funded accounts or not. I like them because they do decrease the risk. They are higher leverage, and I think it's easier to look at going full time using funded trade accounts because that's the way I did it. May not be the way you need to do it, may not be the way that your upline tells you to do it. That's just the way I do it, guys. Any questions on that? That's the end. Does anyone get any value from that? I know a lot of it we go over, but sometimes we need kind of a reminder of that kind of stuff. Anyone have any questions?
Huge value on it.
Oh,
Yeah,
good, good,
so.
good.
Yeah, great reminders, John.
Yeah, hopefully you took screenshots as we went through, because I went through pretty quick. Did everyone take screenshots?
Yep, sure did.
Yeah.
Yep.
I sure
Okay,
did.
good, good, good.
And notes.
And notes, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
notes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was going to do this on the mindset course, but I'm going to do the fear one on this Sunday because we couldn't get to it last Sunday because of all the technical issues. So I already have my last week's subject I'm going to do on Sunday as well, and we're going to be looking at. Oh yeah, look at this, guys. Let's just quickly look at this. This is for you, Jim. Is Jim still there? Where is he? Has he gone?
Right here.
No, he's
Oh, there
there.
he is. All right. Jim. Let's go. There it is. Hold on. So here is 5 minute on NAS. This was just on Tuesday, Jim. So the white, can you see that, Jim?
Yeah.
So the white mark is the beginning. I started at, no, that's not right. Oh, you know what I did? I was on London time when I started this. Okay, I have to redo that. Anyway, forget that. I mean, I'll redo this. But the white one is going to be when I started the session, and it should be Tuesday at midnight. So I'm just running it Tuesday midnight, in the morning, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 3 full days. And these are all the setups: 10 pips, -4 pips, 5 pips. I don't know where the pippage went on that one. There's one there missing there. Don't know what happened there. Let me reload it, see if it all comes back. Sometimes they drop off when I've been playing around with it too long. But anyway, the point being, I want to be back on a 5 minute. Now I lost everything. All right, maybe I'm not going to show it to you today. No, no, they went to gold. That's why. All right, there we go. Okay, so did our pips came back? Yeah, the pips came. Well, no, I'm still missing pips there. And I'm missing my line there. Okay, I got to fix that. But 158 pips there, 40 pips there, 121 pips, 100 pips, 156 pips. That was just up till I got to change the times on here because I was on London time when I was doing this. I'd switch my chart. But we're already up on the first day, 150, 250, 370, 400, 550, about 550 something pips in one day.
Boom.
So that's pretty good, Jim, right?
That's awesome.
So that was just yesterday. I have to do it as I go along now because it takes so flipping long to do it. So I'm glad we did keep it to 3 days because there's no way we could do more than that. But this could be nuts if we're doing 550 on one day. We're doing 3 days. What happens if we do that? We're going to be up like 1,600, 1,700 pips here. That's crazy. I mean, it might not do that, but And I have to adjust this back to my PST time because it's all off at the moment. I mean, the trades will still be there. So these trades and these pippages won't be there. It's only the time on the bottom that's going to change. Anyway,
Yeah.
Jim, there we go. So that we'll go over that on Sunday. Um, but now, here's another thing before we wrap up, guys. Another question that I had: does it pay on Sunday to go through these results with you in detail like I do, where I'm going into replay mode and then showing you the setup one by one? Or do you want me to whiz through it a bit quicker and not show you the setups? And the reason I'm asking that is because TradingView, I have to go fairly slowly through TradingView, otherwise I freeze it. And you can see a couple of times when I move too fast, it freezes and I lose all my setups.
My opinion on it is you've really shown it to us, and it's almost like trying to sell us on Sniper Pro. We're already sold on it, and in my opinion, I think you could go through that part a little quicker and just get onto your normal training or talking about other things.
Okay.
Just my personal opinion.
Yeah, see what I can do is see if I don't go into detail, I can literally say, okay, look, here's the pips, here's the time at the bottom. We get in on the green, we get in on the red. The yellow line there is the trade itself. And then I can just start scrolling like this, as we go along.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely not a need to try to do every single one, but maybe like just the first few, just to kind of reiterate how the rules apply
Okay.
to the back test.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I like that idea. I like that idea. The other idea that I had was to record it slowly and throw it up on YouTube and then just go very quickly through the mindset so people could go to YouTube and have a look at it in more detail.
Don't make too much work for yourself though, right? You've got so
Yeah,
much
well,
going on.
that's the problem. This does
Yeah,
take a lot of work. Yeah. All
yeah.
right. So what I'll do then is this week I'll try it out, especially as this one's going, because this looks like we're going to have a lot of trades on the 5 minute. And that's what I was scared about going down. That's why I chose the 15 minute because I felt it was doable. And the 5 minute already looks like we're going to get a lot of trades over, which makes sense. It's a 5 minute. But even over 3 days, looks like we're going to get a lot of trades. So maybe what I'll do is I'll start showing and I'll scroll through. It's probably easier for me to show at the end of the trade, Jim, rather than the beginning. And the reason being is because if I start doing the replay at the beginning and then trading brew craps out at me, I got to go replay right the way back to the beginning again. Whereas if I just do like the last 5 or 6 trades, if TradingView does crap out at me, I don't have to scroll back so far.
Yeah, good point.
So I might do it that way and see how that goes. Um, just so that other people can see, because on here, these arrows that I have on the bottom on the sniper later, they are where the divergence shows. So I put an arrow where the divergence, but as we go past it, as you know, the divergence disappears. They don't stay there. That's built into Sniper Pro, is they disappear because who needs them when they're gone? We need them when they appear. Um, so that way, when I get near the end, we can actually see. I'll still do a replay so the divergence pops up again, but maybe I'll just analyze like the last 5 or 6 trades, something like that. And then that'll give us more time to get into the other stuff, and then even give us time to maybe look at the charts for a few minutes at the end. Sound good, everybody?
Good plan.
Nice.
Yeah, sounds
All
good.
right.
Yeah, I think
I
that sounds
like that
great.
plan.
All right. Well, that sounds good then. Let's let us hold on. Let me where's my sharing? There it is. Stop sharing.